You're tuned to the Keeping It Real show with Ms.Dee on the What's Your Opinion YouTube channel in association with Opinion but Facts, both owned by the great Kenny Jackson. Give a much shout out to him, much shout out to Oak, co-host of the Black Man Show on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm your producer of the Keeping It Real show with Ms.Dee, Rockin' Larry Lockin'. I apologize to everybody out there. Lately, I've had some health issues, but we're working through that. And a couple weeks, I should be 100%. And also look for my little chats now and then, the long minute with Larry Locking. But this is the Ms.Dee, Keeping It Real with Ms.Dee show. And Ms.Dee is never short of wisdom and some things to offer. So today she's going to be talking, of course, like always in the news cycle, we got a blend of things to go through. But as we talked about last week, she discussed what it was like to be a Black woman in America and offered some very insightful thoughts. Today, she's going to talk a little bit about Black men in America, plus blended in, of course, with every issue going on in our world politically and socially right now. Well, not every issue, but ones at the forefront. And without further ado, I'll quit rambling. And ladies and gentlemen, here is Ms.Dee from SoCal. Welcome.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you for that lovely, lovely introduction. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I'm really enjoying talking out about different issues. This week, we're going to touch on being a Black man. Oh, of course, I don't know it exactly firsthand. But being a Black man in America, I was raised with 4 brothers. So you all can just imagine what I had to deal with as a young girl hanging out with the boys. But I can tell you this, that I learned a lot. We're going back to before everything unfolded. Let's say the 70s, somewhere in there, where I started to really see some things. And it has unfolded now. Now it is 2018. And what I saw, I'm going to say 30 years ago, is staring me right in the face. So here we go. The things about Black men that have, gotten my interest going is the fact that they don't want to stand by the right thing. They prefer to take the easy way out. Unfortunately, all of my brothers really thought that, well, not all of them, but the majority of them really thought that if they got a white woman, that it would make them look better. As far as I can tell, no, Black men, it does not necessarily make you look better. It actually makes you look a little bit weaker because you don't want the challenge of a Black woman. Okay. I always have something to say, of course. I have what you would call like a control freak attitude. And Black men also have the same thing. Now, if we work together, it would come out pretty good. But you don't want to do that. You'd rather have that easy, yes, sir, no, sir. I got your dinner for you. Let me rub your feet and all that. And all that's cute. All that really is cute. But in this day and age, unfortunately, us women, we have to get out there and do what you do. We just work hard, and we still manage to come home, take care of you, take care of the kids, cook dinner, keep a clean house, make ourselves beautiful every day. Plus, we go out there and put in 8, 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours a day and work. But no, y'all don't want that. No, you'd rather have that easy way out. Get a white woman, maybe you can get in restaurants a little bit faster. I I know it has nothing to do with the way she cooks because they can't cook. White women that don't know how to season anything up. Um, I have heard through the grapevine, because I've asked plenty of men. I've taken, a poll and asked quite a few different men, black men, of course. What is it about a white woman that you see in her that you don't see in your everyday black woman? What is it? Now, I've asked lots of different black men this, so I have quite a few little answers I want to share with you. Okay. One guy told me, he's like, well, had a black woman that stole some change from him once. So he was done with all black women because of that incident. I had another one say, okay, well, she treats me better, because one black woman cussed him out about something. So, that was his attitude towards that. He assumed just, get rid of all black women and just move on over to somebody else, And it's amazing that they don't look at, the Japanese the same way or Chinese. They will take somebody from Hawaii, and then they will take somebody who's Asian or even Latino. But I think that black men, and this is just my personal opinion.
Are you thinking, if I could chime in, are you thinking that, like, when you say Hawaiian, are you thinking they want an Americanized woman, that they're more okay with an Americanized Oriental woman?
No, not at all. Not at all. They assume have a woman that barely can speak English or understand English. Black men need to have established some sort of sense of control. And with a black woman, we were all raised, like I have 4 brothers. We were all raised in the same household. So as strict as my mother could be on them, she was probably even harder on me. Okay. So it was tough for me growing up. So if we were short of food, we all suffered the same way. So a black man, sometimes I understand you want to get away from that. You want to get over to what you might think is the greener side, but it's not necessarily the greener side. And I think it's also a stab in the back when black men tend to do that. Now, look, when I was a very young girl, probably about 10 years old, I watched my older brother, decide that, he was going to hook up with, this white chick, of course. She was fat as all outdoors. I mean, 5'3", probably about 280 pounds or so, long, stringy, dirty, brown, blondish hair, glasses, and, look, if you're going to, go over to the other side, go over there and get something, that's worthwhile of looking at. Don't just take anything, And basically what black men end up doing, they taking somebody else's sloppy seconds, Larry, you
don't hold back, do you, Ms.Dee?
No, I mean, because truth to power, it is the truth. Absolutely. Look, I've come across different black men, and like I said, I work hard. I have my own, and but I prefer something that looks like me, just because I've had some black men in my life that didn't treat me well. I don't slam the whole race. That's not fair to the next person. All I'm asking is for black men to give black women a fair shake. Don't go into the club, the nightclub, and you only have eyes for somebody who's white. You look past any sister in there just to get to that white person. I don't know what the conversation is. You know, sometimes I actually wonder, Larry, what it really is like in the bedroom with white women. So I wondered so much that I have set up some white women with some black men, so I can just see, you know.
There you go, just to understand what you're. But if I get back real quick, I'll let you go into that. But are you kind of feel like you were saying earlier that you talked to some black men and they had said that, you know, because somebody stole, you know, ganked some money from them, another gal was yelling at him. So are you saying that they are basing their opinions on like one maybe example that they've been through, and they're stereotyping the whole race of black women because of one situation?
No, they're not
More of a chance.
No, they don't have any other excuse. So when I ask the question, they got to give me something. Okay, so that's what they come up with. They don't even, you know, search themselves enough. They just think it's the going trend. Life might be a little bit easier. Look, when I was 10 or 11, something like that, and I overheard my oldest brother, they're all, you know, I have three that are older than me. I remember it was in the 70s somewhere, and he was like, I overheard him talking to his buddies, you know. It's kind of funny, you know, as I look back on it, but I heard him saying, man, I got me a white girl. I got one. He said it as though he had had bought a car or something. You know, it was a prestige that maybe you stepped up. You know, he's not with this white woman anymore, and it was definitely not a step up. I mean, she lived in the projects. You know, she had roaches galore. I never wanted to spend the night over there, and she was fat is I don't know what. I mean, no college degree, no nothing. So look, I'm not even upset. I'm just disappointed in black men because you can't handle it. You can't handle what is being given to you. Another thing, I think some black men figure, well, I'm sticking it to the white man because before I couldn't have a white woman, now I can have one, you know. But like I said, most of the white women that you get is a white woman that has already been used up by the white community. So it's like good riddance. And another thing, black men, most of you that have gotten together with white women, you kind of used up for the black community. Okay, we actually don't even want you back. I told a black man once before, he was getting smart with me at work. And all I said is, you know what? You just keep sticking to what you sticking to. He understood what I meant. You know, you go ahead on. He's not all that, he wasn't all that attractive. He was not that impressive. His English language was not up to par. So yeah, those white women, they want you. Matter of fact, white women, all y'all want is some black penis anyway. Like I don't know that. You know, everybody knows that that's all you're looking for. Because you've heard, you know, stereotypes and things like that. But every black man is not packing. So good luck on finding the right one. But I know Larry, I know that a lot of it is about the sex. You know, white women, they want a black man. Like I said, I set up some white women that were really interested in me, and I knew that. But I set them up with some black men, and I can tell you this: these white women, all I had to do was just say, "Hey, I want you to have sex." I didn't say sex. Can I say fuck?
Yes, there's no FCC rules, of course.
Okay. I had to ask. I told this is two or three different white girls on different occasions, So I wanted to film it, but I also wanted to see if I could get a white woman to just agree to have sex with somebody who she didn't even know. And I didn't have to ask but once. And they said, okay, So that tells you a whole lot about white women and sex with black men. And yes, I was able to watch the whole thing, and I filmed the whole thing too. Both times. Or it was 3 different times. 3 different women, and it was 3 different men too. And the black man wasn't going to say no. They had the opportunity to do whatever their heart desired, Oh, and then I did have another white girl to suck a man's dick right in front of me. It was hilarious now that I look back at it.
Yeah, I'm curious, what did you conclude from all of that kind of scientific experiment?
Yeah, it was a scientific experiment. I concluded that that a black man will let anybody suck their dick. That's true. Okay. And I also concluded that certain white women, I'm not going to say all, but they're an easy lay. They are an easy lay. And not one of them said anything about putting on a condom either. See, so it just told me a whole lot about black men and white women. It's a sex thing. And I did ask another black guy who he didn't see me, but he thought I was white over the phone. And I went ahead and played the part like I was, just so I can hear what he had to say. And he mentioned to me that a white girl lets him do pretty much anything in the bedroom. And I said, what do you mean by anything? He said, anything. And that's probably true. But look, don't get me wrong. Black women love to have fun in the bedroom too. Plus, our sex is much more hotter and steamier than a white woman, I think. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. What do you think, Larry?
I think yeah, you're right. You're probably right overall. I mean, I would hate to stereotype everything into one, but yes, I would say for the majority of the time that you would probably be definitely right. Just, with no bias or anything, I'm just saying that's probably exactly how it is.
And black women are very sexual, sexy, voluptuous, different shades. But for the most,
and they can naturally just use their body too, I think, to gyrate better than women can. And I think it just would make overall makes for a better experience, I'm sure. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I don't know.
I have had some very few relationships with white men, over the years and everything. And they're interesting characters. The thing is they are interesting because they were raised completely different than me. I'm going to go back to that in a second. But the thing is about, being with white men, they're easier going too, just like white women. I mean, I could get a white man, I have gotten white men to do more than their fair share in the bedroom. They do try extra hard to please a black woman, put forth the effort, So just like a white woman tries extra hard to try to please a black man, so I can understand why some black men go to white women because they do try a little bit harder. But the thing about white men, it gets kind of boring for me that you're trying so hard to please me. I like more of a challenge. I like somebody to tell me no so I can convince them to say yes. You know, I like to use my attributes most of the time. I like to use my mind, my voice, the things I say to get him to come over to my side, But I want a challenge. And unfortunately, Black men, they almost act like they want the easy road out. Somebody who's just going to go along with everything. No, I want to dig deeper into what's going on. You understand, Larry?
Yeah, I would 100, I mean, seriously, I 100% agree with what you're saying. And on, yeah, probably a little more easygoing sometimes. And especially in that situation, would want to, do what we could to please and be annoying about it at the same time, though. You know what I mean? Be annoying.
Black women and Black men, we all handle things a little differently. Now, I know that Black men and a lot of white people want to throw that word out. Oh, she's ghetto. I mean, I really don't like it when people do that. It's not exactly Black people's fault the way they were raised and where they were raised. I mean, we were shut out of certain communities. And here it is right now in 2018, going on 2019, we're about to be, we're still being shut out right now for different reasons or whatever. Now, look, I can't help that I'm a Black person. I'm an educated Black person, but the fact is that I am Black, and that closes the door on me for all the wrong reasons. And it also closes the door where Black men are concerned, because before they even find out about who I am or what I'm all about, they're looking at the color of my skin and they're already getting in their minds what they want to think about me before they even ask. Same way when they look at a white woman, they're not even thinking about anything else except that she's white. That's the first thing. And whatever else follows, their fantasies or whatever the case may be. Black men, in my opinion, this is the time for you guys to kind of, get it together and do some soul searching. Ask yourself why. And the fact is that, the way this, what's his name, Tommy Sotomayor and some other people that's in the public figure, public eye, they say a lot of nasty things about Black women. Now, truthfully, yeah, there's some Black women that may be on food stamps, Social Security, not working.
So there's a ton of white women.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Anybody that brings that shit up about Black women is bullshit.
Well, exactly. But, like I said, of course there are a few. But there's a few of everything.
Yeah, most of those few need it. It's not that they're out there fucking just can't. They need it. I mean, it's times are hard right now.
Well, yeah, and you know what? We got people in the trailer parks and in ghetto fabulous areas and things like that. And where I live in San Diego, the majority of the people I see out there on the streets, living on the streets and everything, are white people. But I'm not going to judge all white people because of a few. And I don't like to be judged, because there are a few bad apples everywhere. But Black men, I just think it's a weak excuse when you try to tell me, an intelligent person, that this is why you don't date Black women. I mean, because of these stupid answers. Somebody, 10 years ago stole something from you. Well, I've had a black man go in my purse while I was sleeping and stole one of my credit cards. Okay. And I didn't know it was stolen until the credit card company called me up and said they noticed some suspicious purchases on this particular card. I went to go to my purse. Yeah, the card was gone. He was gone, no problem. They had already put a stop on the credit card, but they did that while he was out shopping at the grocery store. Come to find out, he didn't know they put a stop on that credit card. He went to Food for Less or somewhere, thought he was going to buy his whole household or his mother or somebody a lot of groceries. He had all that stuff up on the belt, on the counter, $175 worth of stuff.
That's a lot of food for less.
Oh yeah, tried to run that credit. Hey, he was trying to get as much as he could get. He had no idea how much money was on it. It was enough money on it, but they put the stop on it, and he didn't know that until after all that stuff was loaded up. I wish I could have been there. Everything's rung up, and then the credit card didn't work. See, you can't, men, wake up. Just really wake up. He probably wouldn't have tried that with somebody who was white, but he thought, black women, black, dumb, I am so far from dumb. I am one of the most intelligent women you'll probably ever meet. I know what I'm talking about, because when I don't know what I'm talking about, I know how to shut the hell up, okay? Let somebody else do the talking. That doesn't happen that often. But let me get back to black men. Like I said, I have 3 brothers, 3 older brothers, 1 younger brother. None of them are with anybody white now. They learned their lesson. But as I was raising my oldest son, he brought some, some questionable white women home. But of course, me being mom, I had to say something. Anyway, I think I raised him right. He's been married, happily married for the last 10 years to a black woman. So everything in that area went out okay. But I do worry about our black men and where their head is. Both of them. Okay. It's time for you guys to just wake up and get it together. You have sisters, cousins, aunts, got a mother, grandmother, and all of that. How do you look them in the face and then try to diss your black sisters? If you're going to go outside your race and date somebody white, which I don't think you should, but if that's what you're going to do that without dissing me at the same time. Keep your mouth off of me and other black women, because we don't deserve that. And while you're at it, we're the ones who keep us together. We're raising your kids while you off doing God knows what. We make sure we keep food on the table while you off doing God knows what. We make sure your kids are clean while you're out screwing whoever. The whole 9 yards. The lights is turned on, the gas, the water. Hey, we are doing it. Give us some credit for something. Not just, putting us down because of a few. They probably, got discouraged and did the wrong thing. We want our strong black men back. That's what we really want. We look for you all to help us out and to be the leaders. But instead, you throw us off to the side, good black women at that, so you can go try to lead your white family. The ones, NBA stars, you know, NFL, all of you guys, Tiger Woods, you know, Sidney Poitier, you know, all these people need to be looked at. How dare you leave the very women that support you? We're always going to be in your corner. We don't just diss you like that. We're going to always be in your corner no matter what, even when you go to the other side like that. I'm not reading you for you to even do that. You know, people mention about, you know, Phil from the advice show. And I used to watch him all the time. You know, I liked Phil, but he did the wrong thing. No, marrying that person, that's not the wrong thing. But perpetrating a fraud is the wrong thing. You know, if you lie about that or keep that hid or keep that a secret, what else are you hiding? What else are you keeping a secret? You know, it's very difficult for me to understand why someone tries to even talk black, but you're laying down with a white woman every night. What do you all talk about when you're laying down in bed? Is she calling us names and you agreeing with her? Are you telling her about the struggles about black people and what we're going through, or is all that just off the table? She doesn't talk about anything that has to do with race, and you don't talk about anything that has to do with race. You know, what is really going on behind closed doors? Inquiring minds would like to know.
Yeah, I wish I could answer that. I don't know. I think initially a white woman would be more submissive, and then maybe it'd come out in her, and eventually if she started feeling like more comfortable, she would probably maybe start ranting. I don't know. It just would depend on this. It'd be interesting to know. It's a curious question, worth wondering, I guess.
You know what? There is so much going on right now. What's going on even right now today? I mean,
yeah, especially nowadays. Yeah.
Yes. What's the conversation about? You know, we got our president that's in the news 24/7. You know, is there any conversation about what he's doing, what he's saying? You know, or do you just ignore it? Which wouldn't be healthy to me, to just ignore what's really happening right in front of your face.
No.
And another thing, black men, whose side are you really going to be on? Are you going to try to be on a black person's side? No, because we don't trust you. So that's out. If there's a civil war, that's out. Okay. And you can't bring her over here to our side. That might not work out too well. And I don't think, black men, that you're going to be welcome on their side. Because as far as I'm concerned, white people are very evil and dangerous. And heck, they'll just make an example out of you. You know, I don't trust white people really as far as I can throw them. I have a couple of friends that I questioned about this whole situation. People that I've known for over 20 years. And they tell me all the time, you know, they only know of one race, the human race. Now, that's easier said.
Yeah, that'd be fine if we never had any of these issues and all these fucking things to work out, like fucking, and mostly as white people that are clueless sometimes. It'll say with that what you just said, but yeah, there's still a few hundred years worth of fucking work to be put in before we can say that without being a little bit disingenuous. You know, I really think.
Ask you, Larry, as you're being raised by whomever, you had a grandmother, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Uh, grandmother and grandfather, did they tell you any stories, about Black people?
No, they were conservative Republicans. They weren't outspoken racist, but it would slip sometimes. Like my grandfather would refuse to call Cash Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali called him Cassius Clay. And
Yeah.
he thought Martin Luther King was loud, but they were Republicans and yes, negligent racists at heart.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking, okay,
Mm-hmm.
racism has been around since the beginning, obviously. Some white men. I can go back to Christopher Columbus, actually.
Oh yeah, further back than that, it's been around on a time.
But as much as they want to put a lot of things on Black people, when racism started, white people got it in their heads to dehumanize other people. Period. Okay,
No question.
That's where it starts, right there. Black people didn't understand or know anything about dehumanizing anybody or killing anybody or raping anybody or pillaging and plundering and all the things that's going on right now. It started with the white man.
The white race has some kind of weird, sick, mentally ill alien gene going through them. I swear. I mean, because they're the only race that has come up with all, done all this sick shit to people, genetic experiences, torture, slavery, lynching, and on genocide and cutting people
the
up.
whole 9 yards. So when they out here trying to point the finger at Black people, saying, "Oh, they this and they that," honey.
Yep.
Please give me a damn break. I see they do this smoke screen that they're trying to put up for everybody. And the reason why I asked about your grandmother and grandfather, because what I can see or what I can tell from the way I was raised, my parents and grandparents had stories to tell me of the way it was when they grew up. The whites only water fountain, and you get on a train and the water fountain for Black folks was in the back of the train, plus it was warm water, probably dirty water at that, and in the front of the train. Then they had for the white people, and this is just back in the 60s.
You could still find it into the early 70s, actually, in some places in the South.
And you're probably right. The thing is that as my parents and grandparents told me stories of how things were, the water fountains, and you couldn't try on shoes. I guess the black is going to rub off. But how dare anyone of any race think you're more superior than the next? I mean, didn't you watch the 10 Commandments when you were growing up? Do you not know what right from wrong is? And obviously, a lot of people don't know what right from wrong is, especially white people, because what Black people have learned, they learned it from the white man, period. Because they wanted to, Americanize us. Okay, so now here we are trying to coexist, and that's all what Black people are still trying to do, is trying to coexist. And white men won't even leave us alone to let us do that. They don't want us to have anything. I think I said before, scientists have gone through great lengths to prove that Black people were not even completely human. But they're saying, if you cut a Black person, we're going to bleed red. Cut a white person, they're going to bleed red. But in order for them to even feel better or have a good enough reasoning behind all the killings, they were trying to actually prove, that Black people are not exactly human. Only white people are the human race. And unfortunately, a good percentage of white people actually believe that. A very good percentage.
Sadly enough, you're right. And
And
a lot of people that wouldn't even say it, a lot of white people, if you push them, they probably would think that too. So it is sad. It's sad. I mean, it's I mean, it's shameful to be that me being that pigmentation of, like that, but that's what it is. What it is.
Shameful is really a very nice word, actually, that you used. I watch a lot of TV and everything, movies. Very few Black people are on different movies now, on TV, that is.
God, I know. You can't find an African American on Lifetime on a movie, or it seems
well,
like.
You know what? My girl Vivica Fox has been getting.
That's true.
I mean, it's few and far between. But when you do find the Black woman on one of these Lifetime movies, she's not the killer. White people, in almost every movie, somebody's killing somebody else.
I know, it sucks.
Just because they know too much, or they're in the way of what you're trying to do. Because white people have this whole idea, especially Donald Trump, that everything is supposed to be yours. Everything. And then the people who follow him believe the same thing, his base. Now, we got about 20 more minutes or so. We're going to go into, we talked a lot about Black men, and I'm not done with you all by a long shot. I'm going to continue to talk about you guys until we figure out what we're going to do. And we need to be figuring it out pretty quickly here so we can get it together. Now, this new thing, which I already knew it was going to come to something like this anyway, because I'm sorry, white people. No, I'm not really sorry, but most of y'all are crazy anyway. Y'all sit back and just think of shit to do. I mean, get a second job. Get some sort of hobby. Go out there and plant some vegetables, or just do something.
Real talk right there.
Damn, just I mean, really get it together. It is not human to do all the terrible things that you're doing. Okay? So with that being said, all the violence that your president has been talking about from day one, now they're trying to sweep it up under the carpet. Forget that. From day one, all the violence, when in front of the whole police department, when you're putting them in the van and in the car instead of holding their head, don't be too nice. Just shove them on in there. Didn't y'all get a clue then? Okay? Didn't y'all get a clue? Black men, you see that they're killing y'all left and right, and you think just because you with some white girl that all of a sudden things are going to change? Please. Anyway, back to what I was saying about President Trump, all the violence. The last stunt, which was last week when he talked about the congressman that body slammed a reporter for asking a question. Now, when President Trump talked about that, I didn't just look at him. I looked at the people behind him, the cheering and the hurrah, hurrah. That, Black men and everybody, should tell you something that about the president and about a lot of people in this country. A lot of people, and then they think that they have the right to do what they're doing, hurting other people, and they're not just hurting just black people. This group of people think they're superior to everybody else. His whole base, you know, we're in times that we all need to wake up and smell the roses or the coffee or whatever the case may be. Now, I have my own opinions on who sent these pipe bombs, the reasoning why, you know. I
I think
think
they
it was
found the dude last night or something. I may have caught the news wrong, but it seemed like it was some white guy who was a real pro-Trumper in Florida. They arrested.
wait. Are you shocked?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Really? Are you shocked?
Yeah,
I mean,
I almost
before,
fell out of my
I saw it too. Apparently, you know, he was the one. Maybe I have to look at some more news delivering these because they were unsure whether or not it came through the U.S. mail or not. But the point is, I knew it was a white guy. I knew that. I would have bet money on that, and I would have won.
Yeah, this is how stupid and uncreative they are. They also, I saw part of the boxes on the news clip or something, and it said, one of them says from Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and I'm like, oh yeah,
right.
People are so uncreative. Along with being racist and sick, they're not very creative.
No, but they think that they are creative, but they're white. No seasoning, no real thought pattern. They just think up something and without thinking even of the consequences, they try to see it through. And 9 times out of 10 is not good. The consequences or the outcome is not good. But you know what? Always leave it up to the white man to set the standards. You know, it's okay to go out there and kill. You know, they make this huge deal about the amendments in the Constitution. You know, now this gun thing, that's more of a man's thing, a white man's thing. You know, they gotta have not 1, not 2, not 3, but a whole cabinet full of guns.
Oh, you ought to meet some of these people. Oh, Ms.Dee, yeah, I know. And the way they speak, they ought to have their brains in a science experiment. It's just
exactly.
Oh no, it's like that. They're fucking weird.
You look. I faced the facts at my age, and even before, but definitely at my age, that all the standards have been set by white men. Okay, they told the white woman what to do. White women couldn't say anything, and they still don't. Hardly, you know, they don't have a mouthpiece like mine anyway. But all the laws set by white men, you know. Now, if I was the leader of an organization, well, no, not me. That's not a good example. Most leaders of organizations sometimes put themselves in the better position. They make the laws so that they are protected. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Very true. No, right on. It's very true.
Okay. So all the laws that were made to protect the white people.
I.e. the courts being packed right now.
Right. They were made by the white people. Our fate is in the hands of white people. I have wondered sometimes that, let's say, you know, something happened and I was accused of, I don't know, aggravated assault or even, you know, a murder, or I was accused of something. No matter how good my lawyer would be, I may not even get off just because. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got to be a scary thought.
It's a scary thought because my lawyer could argue my case. I could be innocent, but whatever happens, in that room when they are talking about the case or whatever, if they want to send me to jail, they can do it. Just because they don't like what I had on that day. I need to go off camera for about a minute, okay?
Okay.
Tell everybody about Kenny's show, and also tell everybody about the Black Man's Opinion show. That is not at 7 o'clock Eastern time. That's 7 o'clock Western time, okay?
Right.
You made that mistake before. Okay, so I'll be back. All right?
Okay. Well, like Ms.Dee said, the Black Man's Opinion show is with Kenny and Oak, and it's at 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 o'clock out here on the West Coast. I do apologize for that. And Kenny also does his own talks throughout the week, does his own commentary, does his own show. Generally, I believe that's on Monday nights. I do apologize to the people out there. I've had some medical issues. I've got my gallbladder. I know everybody wanted to hear that. I got my gallbladder that's going to be taken out a week from Monday, or if I have to go to the ER again, they may take it out in emergency wise, which I wish they already would have done. But and it's just been really stressful here recently. My fiance just recently moved here, and we've been just trying to get things squared away, plus deal with my medical issues. But again, the Opinion But Facts channel with Kenny Jackson is our mothership channel. The Black Man's Opinion show is on there, as well as Kenny's shows and Kenny's talks here on the What's Your Opinion show channel on YouTube. We're also, of course, on Twitter, on Facebook. You've got them Keeping It Real with Ms.Dee every Saturday at 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock on the East. We got started a little bit late today. I do apologize for that. And then, as well as you can look forward to more and more of my talks, just giving my opinion called The Long Minute with Larry Locke, and I'm, seeing how that name flies and see if we can go from there. But you'll be hearing more and more from me in the weeks to come, me doing these on a regular basis, like the talks, maybe one a day even. So I wanted to let everybody know that. And I eventually, too, after my surgery and after I heal, I'm going to be doing an interview with a gentleman by the name of Santee Walden. He's got his own channel called The Bottom Line with Santee Walden. He's also, like Kenny, he's from Maryland. I think he might be out in the suburbs somewhere of Baltimore or something versus, I think he lives out in a different part, out in maybe the country or out in the suburbs. I'm not sure, but he's an interesting gentleman to listen to, and so look forward to that coming up. And other than that, you can also catch some older shows on I have two other channels myself personally, Palladian Express Productions, and a smaller one where I just did experiment and testing things, different kinds of shows, and kind of there's some humorous shows I did on there, and some crazy dorky white shit. But I've also, in trying to I've kind of trying to keep my distance a little bit as much as possible until the November 6th election from hearing any of this news. It just gets stressful. I check in on it a little bit, and I can't believe Trump, and some of these white people that were subscribing to the theory that that the Democrats and Obama and Biden and Clinton and CNN and whatever sent this bomb material to themselves. I think that's fucking. It just shows you how sick and nutty these people are getting. People's brains are being rotted out by Trump. I mean, they say, well, it used to be you could have a disagreement in politics and whatever, but nowadays If you're a Trump supporter, if you like that son of a bitch for any reason, you've got mental problems. I'm sorry, no matter who you are. But Ms.Dee, welcome back.
Yeah. Who has the mental problem again?
People that have any kind of love for Trump or any kind of feel any kind of support for him or cheer him on or just like him in general in any way, really, I mean, it's the proof's in the pudding. You have to have something wrong with you mental. I mean, that you can't possibly not be non-racist and sane and like this guy.
Unfortunately, I think that's the word they call them when it's the black people, or coons, which is someone who is the mouthpiece for the white man, who says everything that the white man wants to say, but can't say it or doesn't say it because he has a black man out there that is black, but is definitely pressing the agenda button for the white man. And it's really a shame that black men don't understand that that's a form of control over you. Just like with Kanye, that was a form of control. They got him to the White House. They got him to say exactly what they were thinking, and he made his white daddy proud that day,
Yeah, sickening and sad.
The whole thing was sickening, the hug and everything, and Kanye really needs a black woman in his corner. He really does. It's really unfortunate, but black women are the ones that keep things going. Remember I said that in the beginning of the show, how we take care of kids, we take care of the husband, we cook the food, we go outside the home and work. It is no longer the days where women stay home, or girls, and then they get married at the age of 18, 19, 20. They go straight from their parents' house into the married house, and the woman just stays home and she takes care of the house, and man goes out there and work. No, it's no longer that. Okay. It takes two and sometimes three to make it all work.
Yeah.
And unfortunately black men don't get that. Some white men don't either. So I'm not going to put it all on just black men. But we were talking about before I got off, the dangers of the rhetoric that Trump spews out, and the fact that everybody around him seems to protect him. So he's able to say whatever it is that he wants to say, and they'll cover it up one way or another. That's number one. Number two is the body slam comment that he made his thing. He's like any man that can do a body slam is his guy. That's his guy. We're not talking about the wrestling, that you see on TV.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, he's talking about it like, this is an okay thing. Now, look, 9 times out of 10, most people tell their children, you want to grow up and be like the president, because they carry themselves in such a way that you look up to them. It's like, if the president is coming in town, people want to break their necks to go meet him, shake his hand, take a picture. Not everybody with Trump, though, and you can't take your children to his rallies. Not
no.
Hear anything about your children, and this is for everybody, black, white, I really don't care. If you care anything about your children, because we're going to be turning this country over to the next generation, okay? But if you care anything about your children, you don't want to take them to see somebody who speaks violence like that. You know, I don't even speak violence like that, and I
It'd be
don't
like taking him to
tolerate.
go see Hitler. It'd be like taking him to go see Hitler.
Yes, yes, it's that is basically what it is. It's like an ugly reality show. This is the president who talks about, and he has this ugly grin on his face, and then. Like I said, the people in the back is who I look at, because every time he says something stupid like that, he turns around and he looks at the people behind him.
Yeah,
Also,
you notice he does that too.
huh?
I said, you notice he does that too. That little side look to the back. That little fucking
Well, because he wants to make sure that he's giving everybody that eye contact. He is with he look, he's a TV show star, I guess, and that's how he's running this country. And he's putting forth all the policies that make the rich people happy. So, as they were saying on one of the talk shows or whatever, he people are willing to look the other way because he is feeding into what they want and their racism. He's feeding into that, so it makes they feel comfortable with him. But look, I have 3 children of my own. I don't know if you have any. I haven't heard you talk about any.
Yeah, I have 3 of them. I have 3 of my own. Yeah,
Oh,
2
okay.
adults. Yeah, they're here.
I don't want anyone in my family, brothers, cousins, I really don't care, starting a fight. Now, if you have to protect yourself, that's another story. But that is not what was happening with this reporter and this congressman.
No.
The congressman threw the first, he put his hands on somebody else first. Okay. And Donald Trump has already put it into other people's heads that this is okay. I mean, he put it into policemen's head that this is okay. I've seen videos on top of videos on top of videos of policemen slamming young girls down. Kenny talked about this last week on his show. 14, 15-year-old girls. I was a 14 and 15-year-old girl, and I just can't imagine. I can't imagine any of this, even though it's all happening. But I can't imagine, even when I'm out walking sometimes and I see a slew of police cars and officers or whatever, I tend to not even want to walk on this side of the street. Because as truth be told, they can shoot a black person and they'll come up with some sort of story. Whether or not it makes sense, that's another story in itself. They'll come up with some sort of story and said I lunged at them, or they thought I looked dangerous or whatever. I'd like to know what dangerous actually really looks like without a gun or a weapon in hand. Really? Because my skin is darker than yours? That's why I look dangerous? Anyway, I don't want to get too far off topic. The point is that President Trump has made it okay in society to cause harm to other people, but he didn't do it by himself. Okay, this has been going on for a long time. He just helped bring it to the front, and now everybody's taking hold to that. I wouldn't be surprised if people got dartboards in their homes with a black person in the middle and throwing darts at it, thinking it's cute, thinking it's funny.
Yeah.
None of this is funny. I'm going to tell this story and then we're going to try to close. When I close my eyes and, I think that, I'm safe, at least because we're here at home. I know that we're really not safe. I've heard of officers making a mistake, busting in the wrong door. in killing that person. You know, we are practically at the mercy of what's happening as Black people. And it really tears me apart sometimes knowing that our Black men won't even stand up for us. You know, white people have their foot on our neck, and then the Black men are throwing dirt in our face all at the same time. So it's a really discouraging fact, but it is still a fact. And I started out by saying, that I was going to, talk about, the Black man in America. And us Black women, we don't want your money or anything like that. It's not even about that. It's about understanding where you yourself came from, and understanding that you grew up with a sister or a cousin or, some other female, including your mother. As bad as you talk about Black women, are you saying the same thing to your mother in her face, that she's ghetto? Or do you exclude her because she's your mother, but everybody else is ghetto? I mean, Black men, it's time for you to just make up your minds. Seriously. And I don't want to say it's us against them, but us, meaning us Black people, we need to stick together. Just for the sake of your children, you want to bring them up right. Now, I'm no expert or anything like that, but I can tell you this: I was a child before, and I didn't have a president that was, or at least I have never known of any other president that has said violence is okay. It's okay to do this. It's okay to rough up people when you arrest them. It's bad enough officers talk to you any old kind of way. The same officers, if I saw them out there in a club somewhere, I dare you to talk to me any old kind of way, because you will get an earful. I just want my Black brothers to get it together. All of them, I mean, it's time to stop it already. We have children we have to raise. We want to raise them right. You have any other thoughts about that, Larry?
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening, and it really is, it's just disheartening to hear this, but it needs to be heard. More white people need to hear this too, because really, to think about being at the mercy, you were talking about officers kicking in the wrong door, the classic example, kicking in the wrong door and shooting somebody just cause, and
it's just that,
it needs to be told. It needs to be heard. This needs to be told.
My life is so important to me. I try to live it to the fullest. I enjoy who I am. But within the last couple of years, I think about all the people that I think have died a senseless death. In my day and age, you're supposed to live your life to the fullest, up at least until maybe 85 before you even take sick. That's the way I have come up. Okay. And here it is. Oh, and another thing about the school shootings and things like that. I went to school to learn. Okay. This stuff, school shootings, wasn't even heard of. Not like this. Not when I was going to school. No. I was trying to get my A's and B's and my 1s and 2s and the whole 9 yards, and spelling bees, that sort of thing. Taking a test, taking a quiz, the whole 9 yards, and now they're talking about, oh, you got to protect yourself. See, white people. Look, I'm sorry that everybody's not at your beck and call the way you want them to be, the way your parents told you it's supposed to be. I'm sorry you don't have slaves anymore doing everything for you. Okay? I'm sorry for all that. But hey, this is a new day. It is the way it is. You don't have to go out there and take your frustrations out on Black people. You don't have to do that. If you are any type of human being, you wouldn't do that. But we all know that some of y'all white people are not completely human. I don't know what you're combined with, but you're not completely human.
No, I agree.
Here I go. I done got off the subject of the violence. Back to what I was saying. One incident that really caught my attention was the killing. Well, a lot of them did, but the killing of Philando Castile in his car. Regular stop. His girlfriend in the car. 4-year-old in the back in a car seat. I heard the tape. I have a gun. I have a carrying permit. The whole 9 yards. I mean, really? Did that cop really think he was about to pull out a gun and start shooting? Really? And if you're that jittery, don't be on the force. But what I'm saying is that if I were that girlfriend, I really don't think I could have reacted as calmly as she did. Since I've never seen anybody shot before, I've never seen a bullet hole in anybody before, I've never seen anybody just die like, I mean, I've never seen any of that. And then my daughter's in the back seat. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If that were me, I would have really been pressing some serious charges against him for my own safety. Not only, killing somebody right there in front of me for no reason, but my safety and my daughter's safety. He would not have walked away clean, not after I got done with him. I'm too smart for that. Way too smart for that. So, it's things like that that make me really, really wonder where we are in society. And yes, we need our Black men to start speaking up for issues like that. No, but you still want to go home and lay up with somebody go white, and you got white people killing us every day. It's like, guys, wake up. Enough is enough. Don't you agree with that, Larry?
Yeah, I think you pretty much summed it up well. Yeah, actually. It's definitely some great food for thought. Yeah.
If you want to call it food for thought, I'll go ahead and accept that.
No, I mean, it's real. Yeah.
I know what you mean. That was a cliche. Something needs to be done. It's already out of hand. It's already out of hand. Everybody, I got a few more statements. Number one, don't forget to vote. Okay, please do not forget to vote. I know a lot of people, including Kenny. Kenny said he's never voted before. And I understand that. You figure, okay, my one vote is not going to make any difference. If I don't vote, it's only one. But a lot of people say the same thing, it's only one.
The problem is, though, is that people that think like Trump and Republicans, like I'll just stereotype conservative people, white people, that like mind, they are always going out and fucking. One thing about them is they will vote in mass. Okay, so we need the people that are just, my vote don't count. Bullshit. That's a lot of us who say that, and we need to get out there and vote, because that's the reason we're in the position we're in, and that we've always gotten, except for Barack Obama and maybe Bill Clinton to a point, we've always got these fucking racist, right-wing type presidents. Now you've seen it manifest completely with somebody like Trump, who gets out there and advocates for violence and advocates for nationalism and white nationalism. And yeah, it's important, because let me tell you something, these other idiots on the other side, these crazy fucking white racist people and religious ideologues, they stick together in mass and they fucking vote every fucking time out. Every time.
And black people, I'm gonna tell you something. If we all really stuck together like we should, because those white folks, they stick together. They're on code, as we say. They're on code. Us black people tend to get off of code because we're too busy trying to get on their code. They don't really want you. They don't really like you. You're nothing but a pawn in their game. You know, I know there's a lot of black men out there that know how to play chess. So you know exactly what I mean when I say you're just a pawn in their game. Win some, lose some. If push comes to shove, they will lynch your ass. Trust and believe that. They don't like you. You think President Trump really likes Kanye? Of course not. President Trump, I even hate saying the name. No, he doesn't like anybody black at all. Not unless you can do something for him. Because I can't do nothing for him, so I know he don't like me. But that's another story in itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want our black men to get it together. I have seen what society has done to you, and I know it's torn you down to the fact that here it is, you're black, and you want to get ahead, and you figure this is your way of getting ahead. It's not. I mean, you're going to have to explain yourself somewhere down the line, to somebody of why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. Um, and don't even think you're going to get into heaven with this garbage, because I don't think that's going to be possible. No, I don't think that's going to be possible. Not if I'm there. Okay. Because for some reason, I have a feeling I'll have the key and the gate will be locked when you show up. So, y'all don't bother coming. Anyway, Larry and I, we are going to try to close this show. I've already given out as much advice as I can give. It's just time that you all take a look at what's happening. Take a look at all the terrible things, the real big terrible things that has happened. The murders, the killing, terrorist acts. Don't forget about Las Vegas. Don't forget about Charlottesville, which obviously reminded me of, the white people in the sheets, Ku Klux Klan, or just vigilantes or whatever, riding out, with rifles and guns in one hand and a torch with some fire in the other hand, setting things on fire. Nothing, you know what? Nothing's really changed. It's just as bad. It's just in a different format. Take off the smoke screen glasses and get it together. If I can see it, you can see it. Hell, Stevie Wonder can see it. What's going on? They don't even want. I mean, this is why nobody said back when we were slaves they wouldn't let us go back to Africa. We wanted to go back to Africa. They wouldn't let us go back to Africa. You remember that? No. They made this supposed to be our home. Had to change the name and everything. You kept us here. Now you want to say, okay, now that we gotten all that we can get out of you, and now that we can't force you to work for us, we don't need you anymore. Be gone. Now you can go back to Africa. See, I understand white people very well. I understand them well enough to know that I feed all of you. And I do mean all of you with a long-handed spoon. A long-handed spoon. That's another cliche. I hope you all know what I mean when I say that. Okay? I have to protect myself and my family because you all have a devious mind at work. the majority of the time you think of something nasty you can do to somebody. You think it's funny, hilarious. Black men got to get together, figure out who you really laying up with, who you're procreating with. Just think about it. That's all I want you to do. That's all I can ask of you. It's just to take a step back and just to think about what you're doing. Think about the consequences. Think about who you might be affecting with your decisions that you're making. A lot of this really falls on your shoulders. Don't be a wimp. You're supposed to be strong. Stay strong for your Black women and your children. I really don't think that that's too much to ask for. I think that you should at least think about it and hopefully give it a shot. See if it works out. Leave white women alone for a minute and date somebody who's Black. It might be the best thing for you. You don't know. But if you don't even try it out, that is a sign of weakness to me. If you don't even give it a shot. You want to, follow whatever norm you think it is and just stick with white women or even Asian women. What, you don't like your own skin color? It's sad. I happen to love the color of my skin. I mean, absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to trade it for anything else. I absolutely love it,
Indeed.
And a lot of other people love it too. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ms.Dee at Keeping It Real. I like to do this every Saturday at 3 o'clock Western time. I'm out here in beautiful, beautiful, sunny San Diego. Beautiful temperature today. Short sleeves and shorts if you want to. People are at the beach. Lovely, lovely. So we try to do this every Saturday. You don't want to forget Kenny Jackson on the Opinion Show. Is that correct, Larry?
That would be on the What's Your Opinion show on the Opinion But Facts Network. Absolutely, absolutely. Check him out. Check his shows out. Check him and Oak, his co-host Oak, do a show on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock. That's 7 o'clock on the West Coast. I'm gonna get this right.
That's
10 o'clock.
That's right. That's right. That's every Wednesday. Now you can catch Kenny Jackson anytime something political is happening. He likes to jump on it, so he's on more often than not. So you can always catch him. It's recorded, so if he's not on, you'll see something that he probably just streamed maybe 30 minutes before or something like that. So definitely watch his show. Sometimes I'm a guest on his show through call-in, so you may hear me over there every now and then, but there's a lot of different shows Kenny has going on right now. And Larry knows that we might start a panel show as well. So we want you guys to check it out on both channels. This is what I call the sister channel of Opinion But Facts. So you're catching me on this end and on that end. But I do appreciate anybody and everybody for tuning in. I don't mean any harm by anything that I say, but it is my opinion and it is also fact. So hopefully Larry will get the show open where we can take some phone calls. So, because I love the back and forth. I love to hear somebody else's opinion. I 9 times out of 10 have an answer for anything that you ask. So hopefully before the year is over with, more than likely it will be. November is right around the corner.
Yep.
So
take calls before the end of the year for sure.
Yeah. So maybe about 3 more shows or something like that. Probably right at we're going to shoot for right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that would be a good guesstimate for sure. I'm shooting for right after Thanksgiving for us to be able to take calls. If we have to do it through a Skype format, I'll do that. But I've got a couple options I'm looking at, and so we should have that here taken care of. Around the 1st of December after Thanksgiving, but before the 1st of the year for sure. And I think, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of big things coming up.
Yep.
I just started doing this, so I'm very new at it. But we're going to have a lot of big things coming up, a lot more topic. It's going to be honest opinion, from me, real talk from me, keeping it 100. I will never, ever lie to you. I will always keep it real and keeping it 100. That's what I do. I'm Ms.Dee. It's been real. It's been real fun. And I will see you all next week. Same time, same place, same channel.
Bye.